Hello, Facebook, YouTube. Oh, I gotta do this video because these atheists are getting on my nerves on this group. But I like it. I like it like that. But anyway, topic of the message, and certain Christians are getting on my nerves. Not gonna call no names, but it's just gotta lay this out. But the topic of this message is, I did a message like this before, but because I'm mad and I'm frustrated in my spirit, I gotta do another one. But the topic of the message is the reality of restricting God. Restricting God. And the crazy thing about this idea of restricting God, there are certain people think they can restrict God. Well, guess what? Because I was felt passionate, doing my over the top message, and something jumped in my spirit, and I just thought about something, and I'm like, oh, and I thought about what this girl said on this atheist group that I'm in, and wow, how she's not going to believe in God because God, more likely she's saying in the whole viewpoint, because God is not going to fit her idea of what's supposed to be going on. The God that created galaxies, parts unknown, beyond, she thinks has to restrict. He has to restrict himself in her carnal point of view of what he should be like. What he should be like. He should be like this. He should be like that. Oh boy, and I wonder how you doing. And I wonder if she different than most Christians I know. I'll leave that for y'all to meditate on. She's like, well, God should fit. I kept telling her, like they kept saying, well, God should have a creator. What's the creator of God's name? I'm like, first of all, God don't have to tell you nothing if he have a creator or he don't have a creator, or he could say he created himself. And guess what? If God said he created himself, I'm gonna believe him, because guess what? I think he's great enough to do something like that. But if you don't like how great that I see God in that greatness, oh well. If you don't want to believe that he's great, and first of all, you don't want to believe in something spiritual, carnal, atheists, they don't want to believe in spiritual, because spirit is beyond their knowledge. Or the Romans 8:6, carnal mind is to be death. You know how much this world system and people operating the flesh love to sin, because the wages of sin is death. And they don't mind dying for pleasure that caused them to drink and smoke and do all kind of negative stuff to lead them that how you doing, have a good day, how we don't care about our lives. We don't care about engaging in activity that can subtract in our life. You know how the flesh is. As long as it's pleased, people, sinners are at ease as long as the flesh is pleased. But there's catastrophic effects happens when you continue in sin and stuff like that. But that is another message. Let's get on with the topic. Now, restriction. She's trying to restrict God. God needs to follow. God needs to, operate according to my mind. And if he don't operate according to my feeble, little, puny mind, I'm not going to believe in him. He should operate in my ideal of science. It's just, I'm like, oh Lord. I was like, God, you know, and I'm telling them, say, no, God doesn't have to do that. He can, you know, but guess what? God presented his gospel as a choice to choose. You can go this way or you can go that way. You know what I'm saying? It's created in that idea. Uh-oh, I have interesting people, I guess a ROTC group coming that's focused, and I don't want to shove it. All right, there.
First two, go!
Okay. She's trying to restrict, you know, God, and if God don't play by my rules in my carnal mind, I'm not gonna follow him. You know, and I'm like, oh Lord, this girl don't sound far off than most Christians I know. But anyway, but the thing is, look, you know, I did this message about the meet the incredible God. Meet the incredible God. I'm finna remind you of that message real quick. Well, everybody, I hope you know about David Banner. All right, man. Know about David Banner, Incredible Hulk. You know, I used to watch the episodes. My boy Bill Bielusky played David Banner. You know, Lou Laringo played Incredible Hulk. And the thing is, what happens is, if y'all don't know about that show, that people like to pick on my boy Bill Bielusky, but my boy Bill Bielusky said from the beginning, Mr. McGee, you don't want to make me angry, because you're not going to like it when I get angry. He let you know the deal. Bam. You know, he get him angry. Bam. The clothing that Bill Bielusky, or David Banner, I like calling him Bill Bielusky, but David Banner had on, you know what I'm saying? Because of the anger that was building up in Bill Bielusky, because the anger, that a frustration of what somebody is doing to him, you know, kind of like what's going on the earth and how, you know, this world system, and Satan has deceived the world to rebel against God, and, you know, people doing all kind of sin and all kind of negativity, getting God mad and angry and frustrated about what's going on, you know, that anger, that, you know, but what happened was within the process of David Banner getting angry, all of a sudden his eyes turned green, and now the very natural clothing, that he has on now starts to rip. It starts to rip because something inside of him was growing beyond the restrictions of his natural clothing. You know, kind of like men, you know, these atheists, or, you know, people in the world, carnal minds, you know. Y'all minds are carnal. But when something spiritual that is angry and upset at how you are treating his creation, and how you don't really care less about the creator, something's expanding, slowly expanding, now reaching its restrictions, and start to rip apart every idea, everything the thing that you thought was right, the things that you thought was meaningful, you start getting ripped apart. That it's really finna happen very soon, that the atheists are not aware of, that, you know, when God's plan comes in fruition very soon, I guarantee atheists are going to disappear off the face of the earth when God's next plan didn't happen. But anyway, but all of a sudden the credible God start coming out. And now when the credible God start coming out, we know what happens. The bad guy that tried to beat up David Banner have to face the credible Hulk. He getting his behind thrown over here, thrown over there. You know, all kind of catastrophe, sorry. Bad happened, chaos, and you're wondering what's going on. Well, you know, because, you know, to me, what atheists and sinners have in common, you know what I'm saying? Because I separate the two, because I know sinners that believe in God. You know, atheists and sinners have in common. They have this thing called ignorance, that Satan knows that he has to develop inside the hearts of them, that they don't want to believe God through their actions, you know what I'm saying? and they have this or as what Jesus says, their heart wax cold. The iniquity abound, and the love for many shall wax cold inside of an individual, their hearts, and they ignore the very thing that, and the very patterns that I present to them, that you're not supposed to ignore a pattern of creation, that creators create creation. You know what I'm saying? It's all throughout. Everything that is created in this earth has a pattern of a creator behind it. It just didn't, like magic, pop out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? You know how that go, but that didn't feel good with the atheists, you know? But anyway, the thing is, people don't realize that, those people don't realize that iniquity has made you ignorant of what reality is right before your eyes. That, you become a victim. You're going to become a victim of, because of your ignorance, that you don't want to accept that is right before your eyes, that you are denying because you want to deny it, not denying it because it relates to truth. I mean, the truth, like I tell people, truth is all in a pattern. You know what I'm saying? And like my boy Sherlock Holmes follow a pattern, and in that pattern he finds truth. He doesn't accept to say, oh, this guy's the murderer, that guy's murderer. No, he keeps focused and steady on the pattern and found like, bam, no, you're not a murderer, he's the murderer, and gets the right guy, the right person, whoever it is. But that is what patterns all about. Patterns find truth better than assumptions that, they like to operate in assumptions and stuff like that. But the thing is, Credible Hope finna make a comeback, but you cannot restrict something that is great, that created universes and galaxies, got them spinning the heavenly dance like my boy, Big Daddy Weave saying. All right, that's the message. I hope you got an understanding. You can't restrict the God of the universe, the great I am, that's greater than anything that ever exists, period, point blank. That's the message. God be the glory. Here forever and ever, in Jesus' name, amen.